So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and another top 5. So we've covered most of the tiers so far from 6 upwards. Now at tier 9, and time to look at medium tanks. So this is the hardest hitting, so the top average damage dealing medium tanks at tier 9. Across all servers, according to the VBAddicts website that compiles data from all servers, all games across the last 30 days. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. So there are 15 tier 9 medium tanks in the game right now, and at number 5 in terms of average damage dealt is the French tier 9 medium tank, the M46 Prototype, or first prototype, sorry. So this thing, it's an odd looking tank. It's this there's two alternative lines in the French system. You've got the medium tanks and the heavy tanks that have autoloaders, and then you have the medium tanks and the heavy tanks that don't have autoloaders. So this is the single shot variety, and pretty good single shot it is too. Features a big ass gun, 105mm f1 gun, 6.9 rate of fire, 248 standard pen, only 300 with premium. Well, I say only 300, that's plenty. 300 pen with premium and 390 average damage. 0.37 dispersion is not bad at all for a big gun, and 2.3 aim time is it's okay as well. So yeah, nice gun on this thing. But these French tanks survive on their speed and stealthiness and not on their armor, because look at that armor, 80, 30 on the hull. Even the turret, 150, 40 and 30. Now you will bounce the odd shell off that turret. It's got a nice bit of spaced armor around the gun mantle here, and the turret is quite well angled, but then you've got a massive great boil here, which is commander's hatch. So if you couldn't for some reason can't pen anywhere else, you can just shoot through there. But of course the hull is easy to pen. 80 mils at tier 9 is not great. But as I say, it's all about mobility with these French medium tanks, really. This thing's pretty reasonable. What have we got? 32.5 tons, giving us a power ratio of 22.15 with a 720 horsepower engine, which is actually pretty good. 65 top speed, 23 in reverse, and 37.55 traverse speed for the hull. So it gets around pretty well. Concealment wise, it's okay, 14.9. This is a medium after all, so you know, you're not expecting it to be hiding in a bush for a long period of time, but that's pretty reasonable. 14.9, you'll get that up to 25 or so with a decent crew and camo and what have you. And 39 view range, sorry, 390 view range is also very nice. So this thing, yes, it's pretty popular. 22,483 games, 1,594.47 average damage per game. Means it's pretty effective down there at number 5. So at number 4, according to VBAddicts, for the average damage inflicted by tier 9 medium tanks, is a rewards tank. This is the T50 A. This is the tier 9 German medium tank. Now it is actually a Russian tank, but it was used by the East German military, and therefore it went into the German tech tree. As I say, it's a reward tank. This thing can only be earned if you complete the is it second or second or third set of missions. Third set of missions. What am I talking about? Third set of missions for the first personal mission set. So you can. There's the Stug is first of all. Then it's the HTC, and then it's the T50 A that you earn. And I suppose that probably colours the results for this, because it tends to be better players that own this thing. That said, I own it and I'm not a better player and I can't win in it. So I've only played 6 games, to be fair. I really should roll it out more often. 12,657 games, 1,643.46 average damage per game. And that's largely down to this very nice gun, 100mm gun. Pretty much the standard one that you get on Russian tanks, to be honest. Bring up better stats. There we go. 7.79 rate of fire, 201 penetration is nothing special. 330 with a heat shell is, however, so this is a gold spamming specialist tank. 320 average damage. Dispersion is excellent. 0.33 is very good for a 100mm gun, and 2.1 aim time is also very good indeed. Armor wise, excuse me, 100mm of frontal hull armor, and 80 at side and 45 at the rear, and it's quite well angled. Turret is very good, 200mm on the front, and look at the rounding on it. If you can get this thing hull down, it's pretty good. 160 on the side and 65 on the rear. In true medium sense, this thing's pretty good mobility wise. Only a 580 horsepower engine, gives it 15.34 power ratio, top speed of 50. Very nice hull traverse of 57.81 degrees per second, so it can whip round pretty quickly. Concealment wise, nothing. Well, actually no, that's coloured because I've got my good crew in there. Oh, actually no, so it's 15.5 without the camo on it, so that's not bad at all. You can probably get that around to mid-20s if you've got a very good crew. And view range, well, again, I've got a decent crew on here, so 60, 67, about 390 or so view range if memory serves. So yeah, a nice little tier 9 German medium tank, which actually is Russian, if that makes sense. So number 3 for average damage dealt according to VBAddicts across the last 30 days is the Czech tier 9 medium tank, the Skoda T50. Love this tank. I think it's a great little tank. 41,220 games, 1,672.94 average damage. Features a 3-shell auto-loading magazine, 100mm gun. Each shell takes 1.8 seconds to reload, and this whole clip is only 22 seconds. And it's pretty punchy as well. 248 penetration with the standard round, 310 with its premium, and 320 average damage. 0.35 dispersion is nothing special but okay, and 2.2 aim time. That gun is very, very nice indeed. Again, it's not really armor blessed, this thing. 65, 40 and 40 on the hull, and look at the size of it. Not really, angling isn't something it is used to doing. Will be penned by everything, and even there's some HE guns that will pretty much one-shot this thing. 120 on the turret is also not particularly great, so you need the mobility, which is lucky because it has it. 1000 horsepower engine, power ratio a very impressive 25 power ratio, top speed of 50. Traverse speed's not brilliant, but it's okay. 50.93 is very good. So it's a mobile gunning tank. You nip out, you unleash your 3 shells, and then you get out of dodge and reload, and you reload pretty quickly. That 22-second reload is very good, and with a decent crew. So what am I on my 3rd set of crew skills with these guys? What's my reload time down to? 19.3, which is excellent. And look at the aim time, only 1.76, and dispersion of 0.31. Very nice indeed. View range, concealment wise, it's too big really to be a good hider in a bush. 11 or so percent spotting when stationary, and very effective view range. However, I'm getting a lot for the 9, 10, about 390 again. So very nice, underrated, I think, underappreciated tier 9 medium tank, but clearly a lot of people still playing it and getting some good results. That comes in at number 3. So at number 2 for average damage inflicted across all servers in the last 30 days in tier 9 medium tanks comes the Russian tier 9 tank, the Object 430. 66,417 games, 1,774.53 average damage per game in this tank, and it's a bit of a bruiser. Very, very sleek, very low slung in terms of its silhouette, which makes it quite sneaky. It has a very effective gun, 120mm gun, 6.19 rate of fire, 239 penetration with standard rounds, only 270 with APCR, which is very, very low. So this one, unlike the T55A, this thing is not a gold spamming tank, because 270 is pretty woeful. 390 average damage, dispersion is not great, 0.42, and aim time of 2.1 can be improved, but it's not fantastic either. Survivability, it's got pretty good armor actually for a medium tanks, 120, 80 and 40 on the hull, and because it's so low silhouette and really well sloped, that thing will bounce shells. And 248 on the turret, and look how flat and rounded that thing is. Good luck getting a good connection with that turret. So it will bounce shells all day long, this thing. Mobility wise is okay. 520 horsepower engine, 14.82 power ratio and 50 top speed, 54.24 tank traverse is okay. It should be better concealment than it appears. 17.84% chance to be spotted if concealed and stationary. Now you'll get that up to well over mid 25s, 20 somethings, 23, 24, 25, something like that, with decent crew equipment and paint on this thing. So camping in this thing is an option. 380 view range, however, means that you're going to need coated optics or something like that to be truly effective in that sort of role. But it obviously plays well, and people are getting some really good results in it. So this is your number 2. So number 1 for best, or for the top damage dealing medium tank at tier 9, according to VBAddicts, is one of the newer tanks. This is the Standard B, the Italian tier 9 tank. So it's been a common theme actually amongst the medium tanks against all the tanks recently in this review of the top damage dealers and experience earners. The Italian tanks are coming in very, very competitively, which slightly surprised me actually. I played this on the test server and didn't much like it, but clearly in the real server it's a very, very effective tank, and people are getting some great results. So nearly 41,000 games and a whopping 1,970.94 average damage per game is very, very effective indeed. Has the Italian auto loading system, so 105mm gun, 3 shell magazine. It's one of these ones that automatically starts reloading the shell once you fired one out of it. So time taken to reload is 15, 13 and 11 seconds, and has a very good pen, 268 pen, 330 with a heat round, and still very nice HE, 105 with HE. 360 average damage is nothing spectacular, but hey, when it's spitting out 3 shells fairly quick order, that's pretty nice. 0.35 dispersion is nothing special, and 2.3 aim time is likewise nothing special, but not bad either. So yeah, nice gun, nice punchy magazine reload, and kind of fun to use. Doesn't have any armor, however. 50, 25, 15 on the hull, 60, 55 and 55 on the turret. So you're gonna be lucky if you bounce anything in this thing. So again, it's another one that survives on the wit and skill of the driver and the speed of the vehicle. So 750 horsepower engine, 21.75 power ratio is very good, 65 top speed, 56.32 degrees per second hull traverse is also very good. So this thing gets around very nicely, and once it's there it's pretty stealthy. So 16.01% base percentage chance of being spotted when stationary in cover, and obviously with a decent crew and camo on the tank you can get that up way higher. Spotting range, yeah, it's okay. 390 is about average for all medium tanks at tier 9. So this thing comes in at number 1, so that means we have to see somebody playing it really well, and then we'll be back with the bottom 3. So let's see the Standard B in action. So this is, well, in the presence of genius here, we have WoT driving it for us here, and this guy is a proper genuine unicum. Look at it, 63,000 games, a win rate of 3,052, and a win rate of 60%. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, he's on the worst map bar any now, I think, in the game. This is Provence. Why the bloody hell they didn't completely scrap this map again, I have no idea. It's awful. Just a camp fest. Anyway, he's headed over the opposite side because he can get some nice flank shots. Look at that. Snapshots into that T44 and now into the object. Whoa. Yeah, okay. Misses. Hey, he missed something. He missed something. My goodness me. He's fired all 3 shells in rapid succession, so now he's got to wait for the reload. Only 12 seconds though. Looking at his crew, must be outstanding. That TER just got ripped up again. He's waiting for the reload. He's still only on 1 shell. That's the problem. Needs to spend a bit of time letting them reload in. This is a tier 9 game, so he is in Chosen 3. What is it about good players? They get good matchmaking as well. Jeez. Funny enough, somebody was talking to me about this the other night, how there's a top clan at the moment working out the statistical chance of you getting in a top tier matchup in solo games, that is, if you are a big spender on the game. Not that I'm counting, you know, causing ructions or suggesting that there's some kind of dubious stuff going on with World of Tanks, but there is dubious stuff going on with World of Tanks. We all know it, and we just don't like to admit it. However, I don't know what I've done wrong. I've spent a fortune on this game over the years, but I always get shit in matchmaking regardless. Anyway, this guy has got lucky. He's in Chosen 3. He's in a very good tank, in a very good scenario, and he's just making that Revelise wondering what the hell he's playing at. Look at that, 3 shells into the Revelise. Oof, a lot of spinning around going on there. It's one thing you notice when you see these super unicums playing is they spend so much time looking around. They're not just looking at what they're doing, they're looking at where they're positioned against the enemy, where the enemy are in position to them. It's kind of telling, and one of those things you missed that 54, which, you know, kind of, if you want to improve the game, I think that's the way to go about it. I was having a chat with Pixie Pixie was highlighting it in chat in one of the videos I featured of his, where he pulls out a lot and looks up above to see the situation around him, and he says it works really well for him. So yeah, clearly a good way to go. Anyway, we're not talking about how to be better at tanks, we're talking about this tank. You can see he's used it to good effect. He's used the speed to get into a nice position early doors, spotted those enemy tanks as they tried to climb up, and was able to use his auto loading system to good effect, taking them down. He got a critical in the M12, sorry. Oh, I wasted a shell. What a shame. He does run. He's probably got an extremely good crew in here. He does also run spaghetti and meatballs for his. Is it meatballs? Spaghetti for his. For consumables, and he's up against this KV4, who is a tricky opposition. Shouldn't have any problem with the kind of penetration this gun comes with, though. Still more concerned about, look at this position he's got himself into. Oh, look at this Hype 54, just got himself into a horrible scenario, and that's good night, she wrote. Must have very good shell velocity on the Standard B, because he's hardly having to aim anything in front of anybody, just bang, 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 and they hit time and time again. Right, it's going to have a 3 shell magazine again. It's just waiting, then I think he's going to go in on that KV4. Oh, he's been spotted, which spoils the surprise somewhat. Takes a hit from the KV4. Manages to do a lot of damage in return. That's 3 shells launched out, 4,700 damage. It's a very tight game, 6 all. Makes me laugh with all these people who get really upset about their stats and everything else, because even this guy, who is absolutely brilliant, And you know, people would be amazed to have a 60% win rate. That still means he loses 4 out of 10 games. So you know, people who go bitching about, oh, lose everything and are giving up and killing themselves, just, you know, need to go and get a life. Because even a player like this, who is absolute, look at him hitting that. Jeez. Oh, and the kill shot didn't work. Okay. Even a player like this, who's just awesome at the game, still not getting, you know, more, still not winning everything. You still don't win every game when you're even as good as he is. Oh, there's a Jag Panther who wasted his shot. We put a nice shell into him. His team have suddenly folded. It's 7 plays 10. Everything on the other side has died, which means the enemy team are going to be starting to come up behind us, probably. Can he get shell down on there? He's aiming for that commander's hatch. Been hit in the rear by the Object 705. It's done 6,000 damage in this Italian medium tank. He's coming back down the road to see what he can do to help out. Put some smack down on those tanks that are still... Is that Tiger 2 still stuck there in the... Wow. Tiger 1 actually. Still stuck on that road up. Don't blame him. He's in a tier 6... Sorry, tier 7 heavy tank in this kind of company. Comes the Object. It's got company. There's the TER. Put one and shell into him. Oof. Yeah, the shell velocity on these are really, really good indeed. It is an APCR round as standard, so the APCR tends to fly much quicker anyway. Object 257 out there. Nice shot into his back end. 7,282 damage. 4 kills. He's going for the win now. That Object is in a real pickle there. He's got himself down there, but what does he do? If he pushes forward, he's going to be hit in the side. If he turns around and goes back, he's going to get hit in the back. It's not a good scenario for him. Flicking between possible targets, trying to see whether we can get anything away. Tighter again. It's 10 plays 11. This game could go any way. 7 minutes gone, so about halfway through the game. I hate this map. I think it's such a bad map. Just a charter to camp. Although to be fair, our friend here has been very aggressive and got into nice positions and pushed up as much as he can, but just feels to me like it's not a map that encourages adventurous play as a whole. Hello Tiger 1. He's obviously not got 6th sense, and he is history, but we did get spotted there. So that's taken away some of the surprise. That Object will know where we are. It's an even 90. Where's he going? Ouch, we're down to 3 tanks. Enemy are capping, so that's the Object. Must be. Yep, there he is. So we're going in and get the shot away beautifully. 8,000 damage. He's using his gun sparingly again. However, the enemy taken down our last but 1 tank, so it's 2v3 at the moment. So WoT is going to push up the other side, it looks like he's hunting down the Object 705, who was last seen up at D line, up at D3. was no artillery, so that's one good thing. Well, there was, but it's all dead. Nothing left. Oh, and he gets behind him, puts one shell in, takes a big hit from the 705, and he has got him a bang to rights. Nicely done. Okay, so there's oh, we can see where the even 90 is. He's down on the opposite side to us. So the S1 was somewhere around here as well. So WoT's on 6 kills. 8,700 damage. Wow. Fully reloaded that auto-loading system. S1 moved, must have done. No, he hasn't. We took a hit from him there. Can we pen him? Yes, we can. Where's he gone? Has he made a move? He's asking for some help, but there's not an awful lot that KV-13 can do. Ah, except he's taken down the ELC, so that's a good move. Right, we're down to 1v2. However, that S1 has got himself into a really nice position there, and there's not much we can do about him at the moment, because the moment we try and poke over, he's going to kill us. Haven't got enough hit points to take another hit. Last one took 404 off him. We only got 363. He's just lighting him up, hoping that the KV-13 can help. First shell from the KV-13 hits. Spot him again. There we go again. He's moving. Another shot from the KV-13. Come on, splash dive. Yeah, nicely done. And he kills himself in the process. Well played. So it was hard to find a game that featured this tank being played well without heavy use of spamming of heat shells. And our friend here, WoT, played that beautifully, and I don't think he used any premium rounds at all, so really nicely done. I mean, clearly he's got a very good crew, and he's also running Pasta, so that helped. But he still aced that. He got Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, High Caliber, Tank Sniper, and of course Top Gun. Finished up 9,463 damage, 7 kills, 1871 base XP, 35 shots, hit with 32 and penned with 29 for that 4,000 damage. He took, 9,000 damage. He took 4 hits himself, one of which miraculously did not penetrate him, which just seems extraordinary. And 1,100 assistance damage. Now he was obviously running a whole load of personal reserves and stuff, because it look at the numbers here, but basically 117,500 credits with the premium account. Then you factor in all the extra bonuses, 211,000 profit, after costs 141,794 after all the costs, which weren't that many actually, because he didn't fire any premium. He only had the consumables to recharge. Would have been 71,000 if he hadn't been running a premium count, so good job there. And 2,800 experience plus bonuses for his must have been running some personal reserves there. Gave him a whopping 8,421 XP. Would have been 5,613 if he hadn't been running any kind of boosters or premium account. So there you go. That is the Standard B being used really nicely, showing off its mobility and that auto-loading gun system to good effect. Anyway, let's hop back and see the best of the rest. So personally, I was quite surprised how poorly this tank performs. This is the Type 61, the Tier 9 Japanese medium tank. I always thought this is a pretty good tank. I loved it. I haven't played it a huge amount recently, so maybe that's why. Maybe all the meta's changed, but it's a very nice medium tank. But it is, stats don't lie, it's number 13 out of 15 in terms of average damage inflicted. Only 10,500 games, so it's obviously not very popular. 1269.18 average damage per game, so a full 70 something, 700 less than the Standard B up there at number 1. And I say it surprised me slightly because it has a very nice gun, 105mm gun, 6 shells per minute, 258 penetration is very nice with standard rounds, which are APCR anyway, and then it has a heat shell of 330. Average damage 390 is nice, and 0.36 dispersion is okay. Aim time of 2.3, so pretty good gun. And also this thing has very strong gun depression, minus 10, so you can pop over hills and get some good shots away with that accuracy. However, doesn't have any armor to talk of. 55 35 25 on the hull, 70 60 35 on the turret, and that's probably why people don't get on so well with this thing, because you get wrecked by big HE firing guns that are out there. But no, mobility is okay. 604 engine power, which I don't know, it must be, that's weird amount. 604 engine power, 17 power ratio, 47 top speed is okay, 41 traverse speed is also okay, so yeah, nice enough. Concealment values, well, nothing special. It's you're getting just over 10, I think, something like that, so nothing very good from a concealment factor. And view range is also, it's okay, 390 or so. So it's a good gun platform, but the problem with it, I think, for why people don't like it so much, is it doesn't have quite the mobility other tanks do, and it doesn't have any armor. So you're a bit of a loose end with it. But clearly not many people play it. But it's I still think it's quite a good medium tank. But the stats don't lie. It's number 13 in terms of average damage dealt. So this one really surprised me, how low it was, and I think we can guarantee there will be some kind of buff because it's Russian. This is the Russian Tier 9 medium tank, the T54, or the Heat 54 as we always knew it. This was the darling of the Super Unicums, running around spamming heat shells at everybody, because to be fair, the standard penetration on this gun was awful. But it did get a buff, but it's still not performing that well. A lot of games though, 71,000 games. But only 1,234.43 average damage per game. So it has a pretty good gun, which has been buffed recently. It used to be a lot worse than this. This is a 100mm gun, 7.06 rate of fire, 219 penetration with a stand around, 330 if you spam that heat, and 320 average damage. Dispersion 0.33 is okay, and aim time up to 2. So quite a nice little gun. Now it's been buffed quite a bit. Survivability, well, it's a mixed bag really. 120 frontal armor, but it's not particularly well angled. 80 at the side, 45 at the rear, and 240 on the turret is, again, it's okay, nothing special. It is a medium tank after all, so you're kind of not really supposed to be going head to head with the heavies in this thing. But it is very well rounded, and this thing's pretty mobile. It's one of those typical pack hunters. You get a platoon of 3 of these operating together. Like a lot of mediums, it can wolf pack really nicely. 700 horsepower engine, 19.78 power ratio is very good, 56 top speed is okay, and 58.45 hull traverse is also all okay. Concealment wise, well, it's not really that spectacular. We got 15 or 16% chance of being spotted when stationary in a bush, and view range is 390. There you go. So pretty reasonable. So I say I'm a little surprised this is so low in the pile. Always was very popular when I first started playing this game, T54, but stats don't lie. It's down there at number 14 in the top damage dealing medium tanks of the tier 9s. So statistically, the worst tier 9 medium tank in the game, according to VBAddicts, for average damage dealt, is actually the Chinese tier 9 medium tank, the WZ-120. Again, slightly surprised this is so low in the pile. I thought it was actually quite a good medium tank. I still play it. I quite enjoy it. It's one of the highest alpha damaging medium tanks in the game right now. 13,500 games shows it's not terribly popular. 1,198.75 average damage is pretty woeful when you compare to the Standard B at just shy of 2,000. So this thing just doesn't perform. And as I say, it's got a good gun, but it does take a bit of getting used to. 122mm gun, only fires 5 rounds per minute. 249 pen is nice. 340 if you hit the heat shells, and 440 average damage is very pokey. 0.38 disperse time and 3.4 aim time shows part of the challenge with this thing. It takes a long time to aim, and accuracy is not the best in the world. That said, it's just classic mobile. It's close to medium. It's very much like the T54 in terms of mobility and hull. 100mm frontal armor is 20 less than the Russian one. 80 at the side, 40 at the rear. 220 on that very nicely rounded turret. I think is exactly the same as the T54. Mobility wise, yeah, not bad. 600 horsepower engine, just shy of 16 power ratio, 56 top speed and 54.5 traverse speed is also reasonably good. Concealment value as well, nothing to write home about here. 15 or so pretty much the same as the T54, which it is pretty much a copy, just as a bigger gun. And view range going to be 390 as well. So yeah, big boomstick, poor accuracy, quite a long reload, which means the DPM's a little bit lackluster, but does smack out a big shell when it does hit it. But stats don't lie, as I say regularly on this thing. So it finishes bottom in terms of average damage dealt, according to VBAddicts, over the last 30 days on all servers. So there you go, that's the wrap up of tier 9 medium tanks and their average damage dealing capabilities according to VBAddicts. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and let me know down below what you think of this. Are you surprised? I've put the whole list of all 15 tier 9 mediums in their order in the description of the video, so you can have a look and see where your favorite medium comes in. I was very surprised by the bottom, well, all bottom 3 actually. I didn't expect them to come top, but I didn't expect them to be bottom either, so that surprised me a lot. But then sometimes that's what this VBAddicts site's really useful for, just to get those sort of, wow, I didn't realise that kind of scenarios. Anyway, as I say, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you think about tier 9 mediums in the chat down below. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take it too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. This is GamerDom, signing out.